Hi guys, thanks for coming back to my channel to watch again. I don't really know what's going on, per usual. Not know what's going on, but I don't really know what I want to talk about today. I had thought about talking about how I thought I was a liar. And I am kind of am. Wait, I am kind of a liar. So maybe let's talk on that a little bit. This is not my dog. This is Shy. She's my aunt's dog, and she's visiting me and my mom for the weekend. Right now they're out shopping and going to visit my uncle, but this is Shy. She's 4. She is a Maltipoo. She's a black, obviously, Maltipoo. She has a little bit of white right here because she's just a baby. And I personally have 2 dogs, Nolly and Soju, and they stay out of the room when I'm filming because they like to talk a lot. But this little baby misses her mom, so she gets to stay in here with me, and she will be right here throughout the time of filming. So yeah, but I do need you to sit down. Okay, so let's start our conversation again about how I am essentially like the world's biggest liar and how that's affected me since then. So what do I mean when I say that? So in those 2 months that I was working on myself without the help of a therapist, without the help of an outside opinion, I was doing it all through YouTube and journaling. I love to journal. I've always loved to journal. So I was doing journaling and just kind of like trying to figure out my feelings, because I had ignored my feelings for so long and repressed a lot. So that was something that I had to stop doing, which is another continuous journey of finding those emotions again. But after I had done this by myself for so long, and actually I think I'm getting ahead of myself. During the process of trying to figure out myself through journaling and through YouTube, I feel like I started to get into like a loop over and over again, like in my head, because I'm thinking, okay, like I need to figure some shit out. Let me go on YouTube, see what these certain people say, and then kind of think about like how what they're saying is applying to me, or if it does apply or if it doesn't apply, and journal it out, get shit figured out, and move on. So that's how my healing was the first couple months, because one, I had just started a new job, so I didn't have health insurance that first month, so therapy was way out of the door. I could not afford it. And then the second month that I had done it by myself, I didn't have therapy, so I was just comfortable doing it by myself, and I thought I was making good progress, but in reality, I had steered myself in a different direction to things that didn't really apply to me. I was trying regardless. So I say all this to say that the process that I was doing was allowing me to overthink and chew on problems that I don't want to say didn't exist, because that's not true. The problems were there, but they were given the wrong conclusion because I didn't have an outsider's opinion to be like, well, wait, hold on. You said then that A, B, and C happened, but really D and F happened. So let's talk about that. I didn't have that outsider's perspective, so I didn't really know what to focus on, which is how I got into this mess to begin with. Love it. So, I'm getting uncomfortable talking. Anyways, yeah, so that's how that all happened. But the purpose of this video was to talk about how I'm a liar. So where did the original point go? I don't know. So I think what I'm trying to say is that by trying to fix my problems myself, I was able to do it in a way that hurt me, because I was able to ignore the root of my problem, which was talking about my feelings in a open and productive way. So yeah, it allowed me to not do that, which very big issue for me, I've said. So by not allowing myself to actually talk about my feelings and just trying to do it all myself, I stayed stagnant. And not only did I stay stagnant, but maybe it hurt me in a way. Oof, gross. So let's talk about when I actually did go to therapy. So when I went to therapy, I approached it as a challenge, as I do most things. One thing that I've learned about myself, and I think I've always known this about myself, I am extremely competitive. Like, I love to compete. If it's a game, I want to win. If it is a competition, I want to win. Just like everybody else, but like I take that shit to heart. Like I want to win. Or if it's not like a winning thing that you can do, then I want to do it the best and I want to do it quick so that I can, I guess, get some type of accolade, or like I can prove to myself that I actually did the thing that I wanted to do. So you can't approach therapy in that way. You can't want to heal yourself the quickest or heal yourself in the most efficient way, because if your goal is to do it quickly, it's not going to happen. I'm 25 years old. These problems had 25 years to fester. I hope to God it doesn't take 25 years to fix, but I can't expect it to happen overnight, right? When I approached therapy, I found a therapist. It was really important to me to have a Black therapist who's also a woman, so a Black woman therapist, because I'm also a Black woman. So I found her through a site called sondermind.com. It was online, so I didn't have to go in person or anything. Before our actual online session started, she called me and just did like a over the phone, I guess, consultation. So like, why do you want to go to therapy? What do you want to do? Like, what's your goals basically for starting this process? And at the time, after my 2 months of like self-searching, I had figured out that I wanted to fix my communication issues. So that was at the forefront of our conversation, just talking about communication and anxiety, things like that. And so it was a good fit for her. That was her expertise, so that's where we started. So first session comes around, and my feelings on that were like, I hadn't done therapy before, so I didn't really know what to do. Catch that. I didn't know what to do in therapy, even though you're like really just supposed to talk. So how I approach therapy is I informed her of like what's going on, obviously to the smallest extent, because I didn't really like talking about my feelings. And she would give me advice on that. So in terms of anxiety and things like that, we talked a lot about that at the first part of our session. And when it came to a close, she had given me an exercise to do. And she was explaining to me how to do the exercise. And what I was supposed to do was to just validate myself, validate my feelings. So it was like, no. Yeah, actually. So I was supposed to say like things like, Daily, I love you. Like I'm talking to myself. Daily, I love you. Daily, something. Daily, something. Can you tell I didn't make it that far? And the reason why I don't remember it, because I didn't make it that far. When she was explaining what to do during our sesh, I literally started crying when she told me to be like, Daily, you're proud of yourself. Why? Like right now, I'm like, why would that make me start crying? Like, I'm just like reciting words. but I think it like struck something in me that I didn't know was there. Yeah, it struck a chord with me. Okay, it struck a chord. The reason why I think I had such a hard time saying that I'm proud of myself and that I love myself is that I didn't agree with it. Pause. Why? Why don't I like myself? Why am I not proud of myself? I think, you know, realistically speaking, if I look back over, I guess, my track record, I would have a lot of things to be proud of myself for. And I feel like I shouldn't have a problem with loving myself because I take so many fucking pictures of myself, like it's not even funny. Well, I should say I did when I was younger. Take so many, when I was younger, I'm still relatively young. So I feel like I shouldn't have a problem with saying, oh, I love me. But obviously the emotions were not, they didn't agree with me. So I had to unpack that a little more. Why do I have such a problem with saying, daily I love you, daily I'm proud of you? And I think it's because I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I think maybe I don't like myself because I do not exude the attributes that I would want for myself. For instance, at the time that I had this revelation, I was extremely depressed and I suffered from a lot of anxiety. Still deal with depression, still suffer from anxiety. But one thing that I don't like that I do is that I'm a people pleaser. There it is. It finally came out. So one thing that I found about myself that I don't like is that I'm a people pleaser. If it's a situation where there's conflict, take whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Obviously it doesn't come out like that because I feel like my problems would be a lot more easier to deal with if I was just honest with how I was feeling, and honest about how I felt about a situation at hand in the instance of a people pleaser situation. However, when I approach conflict with people, and that people pleasing nature comes out, it's not just like, okay, have what you want. I feel like I do it in a way that you would never think that I was opposing the argument in the first place or opposing the situation in the first place, because I just tend to be very agreeable even when I don't agree, which is one instance of me being a freaking liar. So not only am I lying to them when I'm in that people pleasing mode, I'm also lying to myself. When I am put in a position where I feel the need to people please, I feel like I shouldn't even say feel the need. For me, it's something that just happens. It's something that I'm just so used to doing. It's automatic. So when I approach a situation, I guess when I should say I feel uncomfortable, and I allow myself to people please, I'm lying to myself every time. And when you have anxiety, you feel uncomfortable a lot. So I'm lying to myself and to other people a lot. This has allowed me to lie to myself for so long that I've built a distrust with myself. Hence why I can't say daily I love you, daily I'm proud of you, because if I truly felt that way, I wouldn't be lying to myself by people pleasing for people most of the time I don't even freaking care about. So that's where I am. So yes, people pleasing, me allowing myself to feel like I cannot convey my feelings to other people, in fear of it turning into a bigger conflict, allowed me to lie to myself for a long time, which has created this distrust in myself. If you feel like you people please more than you should, which is at all, or if it's not to save like a drastic situation, I feel like you also need to work on that. Let me just hand off all my problems to you. Fix yourself too, bitch. I'm just deflecting. But anyways, it's not good for us. If you tend to do that, it's not good. You know, for me, it feels like, okay, well, I know my truth, right? Like, I know what I truly feel, and I don't have to share that with that person, which to an extent is extremely true. You don't have to share your opinions with everybody. As they say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. However, if you are in a situation where you feel the need to express your opinion and you don't do that, that hurts you. It hurts you in the end. From my experience, it does. And I'm working to fix that. So I'm working on trying to be more true to myself. I know in the last video I said that I was working on finding out who I am. And a part of that, I believe, is becoming more true to yourself. I'm really grateful that I have found that I am more inclined to keep my opinions to myself. Keep my opinions to myself for the benefit of other people. Because I feel like stating my opinions is one of the first steps. Well, first step's talking about it, but an important step into figuring out where I am. If I don't state my opinions for so long, I'm not gonna have an opinion at the end of the day, because what's the point, you know? I mean, oppose it if you want. I'm done with people pleasing. I have to say that. Like, I have to actively say, hey, I'm done with doing this. I'm going to do shit for myself. I'm going to say shit to make myself feel better, because other people have no issue with doing it. I don't always have to be the person who is nice all the time. It's not good for me, because here I am shelling out my feelings on YouTube. Love it. But it's a step in the right direction. If you feel like you have an issue with people pleasing, or maybe you feel like this could possibly be an issue, or you know somebody who does this and you want them to get better for themselves, I'm gonna link some resources down below, because there are videos on YouTube that really helped me put my people pleasing into perspective. Well, one, they helped me figure out that this was a problem for me in the first place, and two, they helped me put my people pleasing in perspective on how it's hurting myself and why I should stop doing it for my self benefit. I know it feels like you're doing something right if you are a person who does this. I know it feels like you're doing something right by people pleasing, but I believe that you're only hurting yourself. So I'm gonna link those resources down below. Take a look at them. Don't, it's up to you. But just know that it's something that I'm actively working on, trying to fix. So yes. So how I'm trying to fix this people-pleasing nature that I have is when I have something that deserves, I don't like that, that I feel like I should have a concrete opinion on, is to not ignore it. A lot of the times when something comes up and I feel like I should have an opinion, when I just do have an opinion, I will hold that, right? And I'll confer to someone else. So I'm like, hey, what do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about it? And then I'll kind of like see what their opinion is, see if I like it or not, and then I'll kind of tailor my opinion to match theirs if I do like that opinion. There are some things that are just so freaking stupid in this world. I'll never tailor my opinion to whatever that is, because it just doesn't make sense to have. People are dumb. That sounds really harsh, but that's my opinion on the world. Some people are just freaking stupid, and don't ever allow yourself to feel like you should quiet yourself or dumb yourself down to make dumb people feel better. However, if it's an opinion that I liked or could kind of agree with or could see why they were feeling that way, I would take it into account and tailor my opinion, not to match theirs, but to ensure that no feathers were ruffled once I finally did say something, if I were to say something at all. Okay, because a lot of the times I just stay silent, or I'm just like, okay, great. So yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, how I am doing that. So now what I try to do is, before even asking like, hey, how do you feel? I make sure I form my own opinion, lock it in there, and then ask how you feel, or how the person I'm talking to or group that I'm talking to feels, because I want to make sure I have my opinion first from my own feelings. Now, I haven't done this in conversation yet. Full transparency, I haven't done this in conversation yet. So yeah, very small step, but I do think that it's helping. I have become more opinionated. I mean, I've always been opinionated, but I keep it to myself, but now I'm more outwardly opinionated. And I think it's helped me a lot to be able to form a coherent sentence. Because, after you stop talking for so long, or after you've stopped talking for so long and you've kind of disconnected your mind from your mouth, it takes practice again to kind of get them on one accord. Right now I do really feel like they're on one accord, and that's really exciting to me, because and maybe we can talk about this later, because I feel like this video is getting too long. For a long time I stopped talking, and because I disconnected these two, when I did start talking again, it was jumbled freaking mess. Like my last video, I felt like was just like it was a ramble, but I feel like it really helped me out with being able to those two things connected again, and I feel like I can finally form a coherent sentence. Thank God. It felt so bad not to talk, not to be able to express myself, I should say. So I feel like I'm doing better now. We'll see. How I'm going to stop being a liar is I'm going to stop people pleasing, and that's just how it is. And so I hope that you guys, if you're dealing with this issue, can do that as well, because it feels very freeing to be able to have these two back connected again. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my ramble, and we can talk about things more. Again, if you feel like you're in an area where you need to grow, or you want to grow in any situation, maybe we can grow together, because I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get better at being a human, and even though this is my second video, I feel like it's already helping me a lot. Also, practice makes perfect, and the more that I do it, the more that I will be comfortable with it. So hope to see you guys next time, and bye.